CFRL News at 7. Good evening, I'm Justin Koehler. In London, it's partly cloudy with more clouds rolling into the night and a snowfall warning in effect riding into tomorrow. Right now, it's -1. The Bulletin of Atomic Scientists says the world is closer to Armageddon than it has ever been. The science-based advocacy group has moved its famous doomsday clock to just 90 seconds before midnight. CEO Rachel Bronson says there are multiple issues that are taken into account to move the clock forward, but there's one globally that has become a primary factor.
Members of the Science and Security Board moved the hands of the doomsday clock forward, largely, though not exclusively, because of the mounting dangers in the war in Ukraine.
This is now the 24th time that the clock has been adjusted since its original creation in 1947. Foreign Affairs Minister Melanie Joly says a victory for Ukraine in its fight against Russia would boost the global economy. Joly, however, is still not saying whether Canada will send its Leopard 2 tanks to help Ukrainian troops. The federal government has refused to say whether it plans to make a similar move to that of the U.S. and Germany, with U.S. officials saying that Washington is set to approve sending M1 Abrams tanks to Kyiv, while Germany announced it will approve a request from Poland to send Leopard 2 tanks. The mayor of St. Thomas is hoping to further connect his city to London with a new transit link. St. Thomas Mayor Joe Preston plans to communicate his plan to Carolyn Mulroney, the Minister of Transportation, as well as the Rural Ontario Municipal Association. Preston explains that the plan will be beneficial for both St. Thomas locals as well as Londoners alike.
The old, it used to be like a little slang or a slogan for St. Thomas was there's 25% more life in St. Thomas compared to London. And that was based off of property taxes and housing prices at that time. Now, I think that's changed a little bit since then. But yeah, this could open that up.
The transit plan was originally drafted 3 years ago, but was put on hold due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Preston proposes to operate an hourly bus running from downtown St. Thomas to South London, with the 3-year proposed pilot estimated to cost around $1 million up front, as well as requiring additional aid from the provincial government. A London cafe has been broken into for the second time in just a few months, showing the struggles facing local business owners. XFM reporter Philippe Brenner has the details.
The Sidetrack Cafe has fallen victim of 2 break-ins in just a few months. The most recent incident happened just a few days ago on January 19th. Mano Majumdar, the co-owner of the cafe, says he was surprised to see the same incident happen again in such a short period of time.
It was exhausting. It was frustrating. It was surprising. The first time I read it, for a second, when I was reading the messages come in, a staff member had come in to work early in the morning. This was a person opening that day and obviously immediately sent messages to everyone. My first reaction was that I was accidentally looking at a message from October. And it took me a few minutes to actually catch up and realize that no, it just happened to be totally identical.
Despite the incident, Mano says he is happy with how much support the cafe has gotten from both the community and neighbor businesses. Philippe Brenner, XFM News.
The TAP Center for Creativity is hosting an art exhibit that's been set up, organized, and run by the students of H.B. Beale Secondary School called Catching Stride. Sandra DeSalvo, the executive director for the TAP Center for Creativity, explains what it's like to have the students hosting the exhibit.
The biggest part is that the students are so involved in the process. They're involved in everything, the planning of tonight, planning of the way the exhibit looks, where things are going to go. They're involved in all aspects of supporting each other in that work. So it's lovely to see them engage with each other and interact with each other on that level. And they're excited. They're excited about what they're going to showcase to audiences as they come in.
Catching Stride is filled with different types of student art, from online interactive pieces to sculptures and paintings. The exhibit is open from 12 until 5 p.m. until Saturday, January the 28th. In sports, the London Knights failed to put it together against the Kitchener Rangers, taking a tough 5-2 loss. The Rangers got off to an early lead, scoring twice in the first period, holding the lead to the end. The Knights put in plenty of effort, though, outshooting the Rangers 38-28. The next game is Thursday night, where they travel out of town to take on the Peterborough Petes. Game starts at 7:05. Last night in the NHL, the Maple Leafs beat out the New York Islanders in a commanding fashion, taking the game 5-2. Tonight, there's plenty of action with 3 more Canadian teams taking to the ice. The Montreal Canadiens face off against the Boston Bruins, the Winnipeg Jets take on the Nashville Predators, and the Vancouver Canucks face off against the Chicago Blackhawks. Games are already underway. Excitement is building in the NFL as the Championship Series games have now been set, with the Super Bowl looming just around the corner. This Sunday, the San Francisco 49ers take to the field against the Philadelphia Eagles, as well as the Cincinnati Bengals taking on the Kansas City Chiefs. Game starts Sunday at 3. CFRL News Time is 7:06. We'll be back with London weather right after this.
They love us as much as we love them. They entertain us. Sometimes they turn our bad days into good ones. Pets are there for us, and you can offer a place to call home. Fostering or adopting pets is a win-win situation that benefits everyone as it helps local shelters maintain levels of animals and accept ones in dire need of help. Be the highlight of their day and adopt from a local shelter.
London weather. Right now in London, it's partly cloudy with more clouds rolling in as the night progresses with a low of -6. Tomorrow, be prepared to face some snow with 10 to 20 centimeters expected to fall throughout the day, a high of -1 and a low of -3. Thursday, expect similar with flurries throughout the day and a high of 0 and a low of -5. And to round out the work week, Friday, not much change with more snow and flurries throughout the day with a high and low of -3. Right now, it's -1. I'm Justin Koehler, and we'll have more news at 8.